Here we are arriving at the local supermarket. It's called Nacional, Supermercado Nacional. In general, all of the products here are exactly what we are accustomed to. I would just say that there are a significantly greater number of varieties of fresh fruits available than what we typically have in Toronto. There's practically everything here. Now we'll take a little picture here and then we'll go to the meat department. Take a good close look at the fresh meat here. By the way, the meat is very tasty. We often buy it and cook it on the grill. And of course, it tastes different than in Canada. Now take a look at the juices. This is an entire section. These are freshly squeezed juices. Pretty much from every single berry and delicious fruit I know, honestly. Oh, by the way, speaking of the current prices, let me elaborate a bit. If you take, for example, various types of meat and dairy products, basically the prices are about exactly the same as they are in Toronto, with very little difference. But when it comes to all kinds of fresh fruit, it's much, much, much cheaper indeed. And you can really notice the savings. And the dairy products are just amazing. For example, here you can get natural milk. In Canada, as you know, natural milk is something you can only buy under the table at a farm somewhere. Here, it's readily available. By the way, there are quite big cheese sections here, and the cheese is very tasty, truly good and delicious. There's a fish section and a meat section. Just look at the abundance of meat. Now let's take a special walk through the meat section. The steaks here are simply magnificent. I don't even know what to compare them to. They turn out just amazing on the grill. A huge amount, all sorts of different kinds. You can purchase virtually any kind of high-quality fresh meat here, and it is exceptionally fresh too, primarily because, for example, the cows raised here are not fed artificial feed or growth hormones, unlike the common practices in places such as Canada. All of this comes from natural pastures. And honestly, the meat tastes completely different. Here's the fish section. I have to say, this isn't the best supermarket specifically for fish. There are separate supermarkets that specialize only in seafood. Of course, the selection there is much bigger, but here, the fish selection is still perfectly fine. This is already the continuation of the meat section. Here, the meat is already pre-packaged. Of course, over there, the meat is more high-end. I mean, that's where the steaks are. But here too, there's plenty of everything, a truly huge variety. Now let's proceed to one section, a very interesting section that's not found in Toronto. This is a very interesting thing. It's what's called pulpa. How is it made? As far as I know, we don't have this in Toronto. It's freshly squeezed juice that is carefully pressed and then very quickly and efficiently frozen to a very low temperature, basically turning into a solid, impenetrable ice block. Here, this product is conveniently sold in two forms, both in solid bricks and in liquid bottles. So to prepare it, you simply need to thaw it a little, then carefully dump it into a blender. You can then add some water if you prefer a thinner consistency. In the end, you will get delicious, freshly squeezed juice, brimming with all the beneficial ingredients that are typically found in regular fresh juice. But in this form, it can be stored for 2 to 3 weeks, even up to a month, and as a result, you get the same freshly squeezed juice. The vegetables here are just amazing, really fresh, and you can tell they're chemical-free because, you know, in Toronto, when you buy strawberries and put them in the fridge, a week later, even if you forgot about them, you take them out and they're still just as fresh. It's not like that here. Here, they're natural, so if you put them in the fridge, in 2 to 3 days they'll already be spoiled because there are no preservatives here. Here's an avocado. Look at the size of this avocado. This is the kind of natural avocado it should be, not like the ones we have in Toronto. Now let's try to pick one that's a bit softer. I think that's how it should be. I'm not much of an expert at picking out perfectly ripe avocados, but still, I try my best.